Above the majestic and awe-inspiring Holy Judgment Mountains, an unprecedented and shocking scene slowly unfolded. In midair, the combined forces of Xiao Tianming's divine art of annihilation cloud realm, the Holy Judgment Altar, and the Angel Clan's god-slaying light array, powers capable of annihilating everything, were unexpectedly extinguished and shattered after a silent arrow pierced through the void. That arrow struck true, and no one knew exactly who had fired it. However, there was no doubt that it was aimed at the Angel of Slaughter. Many people, their faces pale and hearts trembling, stared in disbelief at the scene, watching as the spiral light arrow pierced through the chest of the Angel of Slaughter. Blood sprayed from her, and all the power and vitality within her body rapidly leaked away at a horrifying speed. Even the Angel of Slaughter, powerful as she was, couldn't withstand such an attack. Thud, thud. Countless angelic powers fell from the once perfect body of the Angel of Slaughter, scattering chaotically in the void. Cracks appeared on her flawless skin, and pure white blood continually leaked from these fractures. All the energy inside her was disordered and destroyed by the arrow. Her perfect plan, once so close to success, was now utterly ruined. If only she had eliminated Xiao Tianming, her natural talent and the foundation of the Angel Kingdom would have allowed her to break through to the demigod level and even challenge the true quasi-deity realm. But everything had changed too suddenly. The Angel of Slaughter's eyelids trembled violently as her eyes, filled with raging fury, fixed on the arrow still embedded in her chest. From it, she sensed an overwhelming danger. Slowly, she raised her head to gaze at the boundless void. In the distance, the Angel Kingdom's holy city still gleamed with beauty, commanding respect and reverence. But the Angel of Slaughter couldn't understand. Who had unleashed such a destructive attack? Was it the patriarch of the Xiao clan, or the leader of the extraterritorial realm? Crack! As the Angel of Slaughter's supreme authority crumbled, a faint light, like a small glowing insect, moved within the bodies of the countless angels who had once sworn loyalty to her. The light quickly dissipated. After the Angel of Slaughter took control of the Angel Kingdom, although she greatly increased her forces, she had long viewed these angels as mere puppets to be manipulated at will. You won't survive. Your path was wrong from the beginning. We will continue to guard this world with all our might. Xiao Tianming's breath was weak, but thanks to the Xiao clan patriarch's incredible strength and his own sacrificial act of burning his life force, he managed to speak clearly, his voice unwavering as he stood surrounded by the Thunder Lord. Xiao Yuntian. Fear gradually spread across the Angel of Slaughter's exquisite face, her lips turning white. Her body disintegrated uncontrollably, breaking apart. Even her 12 angelic wings and holy soul began to rapidly decay. The two most powerful figures in this world were none other than the leader of the extraterritorial realm and Xiao Yuntian. Yet, after acquiring the divine thread gauze, the Angel of Slaughter had foolishly believed she could challenge them. She had planned to use the grand ceremony of this day to forge her path to quasi-deity status, stepping over the bodies of Xiao Yuntian and the leader of the extraterritorial realm as her ladder to godhood. But now, it seemed, all her plans were nothing more than a ridiculous joke. Even the divine thread gauze, which she had obtained, something even Xiao Yuntian and the leader of the extraterritorial realm had never possessed, could not alter the fact that their powers had long surpassed her understanding. Ghoul, what should we do now? The arena fell silent, as if everyone was waiting for the Angel of Slaughter's complete destruction. In the hidden corners below, some shadowy figures whispered to each other. Once the Angel of Slaughter was gone, the Angel Kingdom would be thrown into chaos. Without such a powerful figure, it would likely descend into a mere second-rate faction, nothing more than an insignificant force. The Angel of Slaughter had once dreamed of making the Angel Kingdom the supreme power in the Great Thousand Worlds, but now, it seemed, that dream would never be realized. Open the portal, guide them in. We must win this battle at all costs. If the Xiao clan wins and learns the truth, that we were the masterminds behind everything, without the support of the Angel Kingdom, we'll be left powerless. Understood. At this moment, All eyes were drawn to the strange occurrence in the sky, unaware that around the angel kingdom, dark and ominous energies had suddenly appeared, with several evil waves emanating from beings at the 9th reincarnation stage. Lord, what is this? The forces of the Endless Flame Alliance, stationed high in the mountains surrounding the angel kingdom, looked on in shock, exchanging uncertain glances. Even they hadn't anticipated the angel of slaughter's strength to be this terrifying. The divine thread gauze that was shattered by the angel of slaughter. The faint power contained within it must be the divine essence missing from the sacred flame. The Holy King's gaze grew serious. Clearly, even someone as powerful as he was at a loss in the face of this situation. Let's wait and see. I'm afraid this matter won't end so easily. Xiao Yin nodded firmly, his gaze focused on the high sky above the sacred judgment altar. For some unknown reason, the sacred flames within Xiao Yin, as well as the demonic robe draped over his shoulders, were surging with a sense of unease. It seemed that an even more severe battle was waiting for them. My lord has fallen? Around the sacred judgment altar, some of the trusted subordinates of the slaughter angel stared blankly at the scene, their faces pale. Heh, Xiao Yuntian, his methods are indeed ruthless. But do you think it's over? The slaughter angel, dragging her body that was already in tatters, forced a sinister, chilling smile across her face. Even if she died, she would never let Xiao Tianming and the Xiao clan have an easy end. With her current power, once she self-destructed, the destructive force would undoubtedly surpass the previous divine art. Since Xiao Yuntian had disregarded everything to strike at her, then there was no reason for this world to continue existing. She would use every last ounce of her power and unleash the angel's radiance one final time, wiping out the elites of the Great Thousand Worlds. At that point, with no powerful figures left, the second battle of heaven and earth would be doomed to failure, and they would all die in the hands of the extraterritorial clans. She would consider it her final act of vengeance. With this thought in mind, the slaughter angel's body shrank violently, her wicked smile widening as countless brilliant, dazzling colors erupted from within her, easily enveloping the entire sacred judgment altar. Beneath the brilliance of those colors, even the sun, moon, and stars high in the sky lost their luster. The flow of angelic power seemed to carry a divine force, brewing a power capable of annihilating the very heavens and earth. In the holy judgment mountains, the atmosphere was still filled with the sounds of people, but their gazes were now gravely focused on the horizon above. In the sky above, the slaughter angel's power became increasingly terrifying, a dazzling energy sphere pulsing violently, sending waves of unease throughout the crowd. This madwoman, is she trying to take us down with her even in death? Countless people were filled with fear, yet they were powerless because the destructive force from the slaughter angel's self-detonation was already beyond their comprehension. Tianming, the Thunder Lord, subtly urged the gray lightning arcs within his body, his expression turning serious. If the slaughter angel fully self-destructed, the entire angel kingdom would be reduced to a sea of blood. We can only try our best now. Xiao Tianming gritted his teeth. Then, together with the Thunder Lord, they drew on the last bit of their strength. Even though their power seemed like mere fireflies compared to the slaughter angel's extraordinary divine might, neither showed any sign of retreat. In the distance, at the Endless Flame Alliance's headquarters, Alliance Leader, a group of trusted subordinates looked toward Xiao Yin. Prepare yourselves. We cannot let the slaughter angel self-destruct. Xiao Yin nodded, waves of earth-shattering flames pouring from him. Wait a moment. The Holy King squinted slightly, as if he sensed some mysterious force, and then suppressed the group's energy. Whoosh! Just as panic began to spread, the temperature of the world suddenly soared, and a strange, invisible rift appeared in the void, followed by a pitch-black stone coffin floating into view. The stone coffin gleamed with flowing light, as though it was no earthly object. A withered, black figure stepped onto it, his eyes closed, resembling an ordinary elderly man. But the contrast was so stark that anyone could clearly feel the immense pressure of the heavenly forces emanating from him. This person's strength was undoubtedly superior to both the Slaughter Angel and Xiao Tianming. Your ambition is too great. I will not give you the chance. Xiao Yuntian, now appearing, gave the frantic Slaughter Angel a faint smile before raising his withered hand to strike at her. In an instant, the world fell silent, as if everything reverted to its primal form. In the blink of an eye, the Slaughter Angel's attempt to self-destruct and destroy everything was instantly nullified. The corrosion of the Annihilation Bow growing ever stronger, crushing the Slaughter Angel's vitality. Her demise seemed only moments away. Quasi-deity, Xiao Yuntian. At that moment, despair filled the Slaughter Angel's soul, her eyes wide with disbelief as she stared at the old figure. From him, she saw the very limits of this world's power. You can blame that divine thread? If it hadn't appeared, I never would have struck at you. I observed that you didn't even know its origin. Xiao Yuntian's gaze was piercing and filled with clarity, seemingly dismantling the last remnants of doubt within the heart of the Slaughter Angel. It was clear that the reason the latter hadn't appeared during the first battle of heaven and earth was likely to lure out an unknown puppeteer, one whose existence remained uncertain. In that case, how are you any different from the extraterritorial scum? The Slaughter Angel let out a cold laugh, as if they were communicating with their souls. I fight for the world. You fight for yourself. How could we ever agree? Xiao Yuntian shook his head. Numerous brilliant flashes of annihilation power flickered, as the energy desperately amassed by the Slaughter Angel gradually faded away. Everything seemed to have already settled into place. Clan leader, why are you here? Just as the crisis was averted, Xiao Tianming stared bewildered at the elderly figure at the edge of the stone coffin, his voice tinged with bitterness. After parting ways in the netherworld, the clan leader had shown remarkable vitality. Yet, such a short time later, he appeared as a frail old man. Could it be because of that divine arrow earlier? After all, the power of the Annihilation Bow was terrifying, consuming a significant portion of one's life essence with every use. I came here for a specific purpose, Xiao Yuntian replied, and with that, the Slaughter Angel's form disintegrated, leaving behind only the angelic scepter and two exceptionally radiant orbs of light hovering above. Over all three, limitless sacred power emanated. What is that? The Thunder Lord's mind was in a daze, watching those three objects. The soul power of the Slaughter Angel has already reached the Divine Realm Soul level. This is the essence of the Divine Realm Soul. With it, one can break into the Divine Realm. In this world, there are scarcely a handful of Divine Realm Souls. Heavenly Source Supreme, the Slaughter Angel. Even I have never stepped into the Divine Realm Soul. Xiao Yuntian's eyes slightly narrowed, his booming voice resonating in every corner of the Angel Kingdom. The Slaughter Angel, a Divine Realm Soul? Such a transcendent being had fallen at the hands of Xiao Yuntian. At this moment, even if someone coveted these three sacred objects, no one dared make a move. Xiao Yuntian was a quasi-deity, the pinnacle of existence in this realm. Divine Realm Soul. As Xiao Yuntian's words deliberately echoed, the entire world seemed to tremble slowly. An influx of greedy auras swirled around. Among those auras were existences as formidable as Xiao Yuntian himself. Sensing that nearly perfect but faint aura hidden within the world, Xiao Yuntian smiled proudly. Come forth, extraterritorial beings. I know you've long coveted these treasures. Within Xiao Yuntian's aged voice lay a terrifying pressure that commanded reverence, causing the entire realm to shake slightly. As this voice fell, from afar in the Angel Kingdom, the sharp sound of seals breaking suddenly rang out. Twisted, malevolent black lines gathered, forming an enormous evil maw in the void, twisting and ruthlessly devouring everything in sight. Torrents of demonic energy gushed forth from the maw, thick like tangible liquid, causing the entire realm to pale in comparison. Gulp. Sensing this change, countless powerful beings became dazed, unable to believe their eyes at the sight of this abyssal maw, a presence that could make even Xiao Yuntian feel solemn. In the entirety of this realm, It could only be the leader of the Outer Realm evil clan. A quasi-deity. Two quasi-deities. The most powerful beings in existence were actually manifesting together today, stunning countless minds. Before long, the entire rift began to tremble violently, as shadows of immense malevolence crawled out of the maw, the mountains in the angel kingdom collapsing and tearing apart in its wake. That aura was overwhelmingly tyrannical, looking down upon all beings. Even at a distance of several thousand meters, an uncontrollable fear surged from deep within the soul, invading the heart. Divine Realm Soul. Angelic Holy Soul. These are truly wonderful treasures. The evil shadow within the rift spoke with a sinister tone, as endless demonic energy howled forth, an aura reminiscent of a demon king, sending chills down the spines of all present. Is that the leader of the Outer Realm? At this moment, as they witnessed the chaos stirring in the void near the angel kingdom, a collective intake of breath filled the space, hearts struck by immense pressure, held in awe. Even though the entity had yet to fully manifest in this realm, the sheer might of that massive evil form was enough to shatter every living being here. That aura was far too powerful, transcending the limits of human understanding. At this thought, countless human powerhouses turned their gazes toward the Xiao clan leader, Xiao. During the first battle of heaven and earth, the fluctuations of conflict were immense. If not for the Xiao clan's steadfast protection, how could there be such a stable situation today? A wave of guilt and regret washed over them. Could this? Among the crowd, some of the powerful figures from the human realm who had once tried to support the angel kingdom tightly clenched their fists. Even though they had previously participated in the suppression of the Xiao clan, with such a great enemy looming, their minds were now clouded with confusion. One wrong step had led to another, and now there was no turning back. They could only unite to resist the powerful foe first, and settle personal matters later. Xiao, why don't you hand these things over to me? I might consider sparing you, came a deafening voice from the depths of the massive evil rift. The sound made the sky, which had been divinely sacred, darken instantly. Countless angelic powers that belonged solely to the angel kingdom rapidly collapsed, as the entire kingdom teetered under the assault of the demonic energy. The leader of the extraterritorial realm? Damn, things are getting even more bizarre. Girl, we don't have much time left. Inside a divine palace of the angel kingdom, after the complete fall of the angel of slaughter, the angel queen and others now stood side by side in the palace. They were seemingly channeling the most sacred angelic power into a young girl, attempting to forge the next angel queen and repeat the glory of the angel kingdom. A projection imbued with primordial power. It seems you still fear me, came a voice. But no matter. If I can kill this primordial projection of yours, it will undoubtedly have an impact on your foundation. In that case, this entire scheme won't have been in vain. Standing on top of a strange stone coffin, Xiao exuded an aura of an eternal god of war, overlooking all as if he were above the world. Perhaps. As his words fell, an evil creature bearing the primordial projection of the leader of the extraterritorial realm unleashed an overwhelming torrent of demonic energy from the evil rift. The demonic energy gathered like an ocean, and as the demon statue, tens of thousands of feet tall, let out a long howl, it charged towards Xiao in the distance. Wherever it passed, space shattered, and a multitude of evil, destructive forces wreaked havoc, instilling a sense of despair. Boom! The void around Xiao quivered slightly, and the stone coffin beneath him erupted with endless scorching flames. A colossal celestial river, nearly the size of the evil demon statue, surged forth, carrying an immense, fiery force. This power was far more potent than ordinary sacred flames. The two attacks collided in an instant, and in that moment, the world lost its color, as the wind and clouds shifted in an instant. The battle between these two. It's impossible to tell who will win. Countless people stared in awe, their faces filled with shock as they watched the two figures flashing across the sky, representing the peak powers of their respective factions. Even formidable figures like Xiao Yin and Xiao Tianming were unable to fully see the battle, The strength of quasi-deity warriors was truly terrifying. It's over. The angel kingdom needs to be reorganized. In the next moment, Xiao Tianming's sharp gaze fell upon the archangels and seraphim below. These powerful figures had sworn allegiance to the angel of slaughter because of her control methods. Now that the culprit was dead, they would undoubtedly become the pillars of the angel kingdom. Without the angel of slaughter, the angel kingdom's position would undoubtedly face an unprecedented shakeup. The battle between the two quasi-deity warriors was earth-shattering. But just as the residual energy from their clash was about to pour down, the space before them suddenly twisted in a strange manner. Then, evil figures appeared out of nowhere, as if they had been prepared for this. Is this the extraterritorial evil clan? And the human realm center? This is bad. As black, ominous figures suddenly materialized in midair, powerful auras surged from the crowd. Some strong individuals from the human realm center rose up, their eerie, ghost-like smiles sending chills down the spine. They then launched vicious, malicious attacks on the crowd. The powerful figures from the human realm center had colluded with the extraterritorial evil clan. Clash! The terrifying assault swept through, and the entire world seemed on the brink of collapse. After waiting for such long years, it's finally time. This time, victory belongs to us from the outer realms. Several terrifyingly powerful black figures moved freely, their gaze falling upon the distant peaks of the angel kingdom, where powerful auras flickered faintly. There are numerous powerful presences hidden. Lord, we've been discovered. Inside the Endless Flame Alliance, someone finally spoke. Since that's the case, let's fight. Xiao Yin chuckled lightly, then, together with several powerful warriors behind him, they stepped into the air, heading towards the Holy Judgment Mountains in a mighty procession. Who would have thought that the human realm center, so powerful, had secretly allied with the extraterritorial evil clan? This was the worst possible outcome. Seeing the arrival of the Endless Flame Alliance's army, blocking the sun and obscuring the heart, the gaze of the human godchild in the center of the human realm fell with a fierce glint on the leaders of the extraterritorial evil clan. That's only natural. Among the extraterritorial evil clan, the supreme commander of the sacred clan, Dihu, Fa, and others, all grinned ominously. Golden Dragon King, Holy King, two demigods. This kind of formation is indeed terrifying, but with just this, it's still not enough. As they spoke, a vicious smile suddenly appeared on the gloomy face of the latter. He extended a withered hand from beneath his black robe, revealing a single vertical eye quietly resting within it. The supreme commander of the sacred clan, Heavenly Demon Sacred Emperor. I'll deal with this guy. The Holy King's eyes narrowed slightly, and brilliant holy flames erupted, covering most of the sky. Clearly, their strengths were nearly on par, and only the Holy King could handle a power of this level. Human godchild, leave him to me. Xiao Yin nodded solemnly. The rest of the powerful beings at the 9th reincarnation stage will be dealt with by me and the Endless Flame Alliance's army together. Let's move. The Endless Flame Alliance's army clashed head-on with the enemy forces. Damn it! Do we just sit here and wait for death? The catastrophe has arrived. Attack. Assist the Endless Flame Alliance. In an instant, the battlefield in the Angel Kingdom split into two factions, and the two armies were locked in fierce combat. The once peaceful and serene Angel Kingdom was now in utter chaos. The second great war of heaven and earth was about to break out. Little brat, you think just because you've gained the demon robe and reached the end of the reincarnation stage, you can be my enemy? Ridiculous. The two armies were in full-fledged battle, and the entire Angel Kingdom was in turmoil. At this moment, the human godchild's fierce face twisted into a cold, sinister smile. Clearly, after the battle in the Netherworld realm, he harbored deep resentment towards Xiao Yin, the descendant of the Xiao clan who had reaped the most benefits. Whether I'm right or wrong, you'll find out soon enough. Xiao Yan's eyes narrowed slightly as he coldly retorted. The moment his words left his mouth, an endless surge of sacred flame power roared around him, and even the space beneath his feet showed signs of collapse. Kid, Here's your fire back. From a distance, Xiao Tianming, surrounded by the Thunder Lord, returned the source of the third sacred flame to Xiao Yin. Although Xiao Tianming and the Thunder Lord's power was terrifying, after their previous battle with the Angel of Slaughter, they were no longer able to intervene in this fight. As a result, the situation on the battlefield became increasingly chaotic. After all, the top-tier combatants still held the overwhelming advantage, with the extraterritorial evil clan and the human realm center working together. Buzz, buzz, buzz. With the return of the third sacred flame, Xiao Yan's overall power became even more formidable. Even though the god-slaying ruler had been returned to the Holy King and the sacred flame had lost its divine essence, Xiao Yan still had the confidence to challenge the human godchild. As the Vice Lord of the Human Realm Center, today, I'll put an end to you here. The human godchild howled, his voice growing increasingly vicious. Clearly, he was well aware of Xiao Yan's troublesome strength and wasn't going to give him any chance to turn the tide. I'm actually quite curious. Why is it that the legendary Lord of the Human Realm is always a mysterious figure, never seen or heard? But today, as the Vice Lord of the Human Realm Center, you've colluded with the Outer Realms. This time, you must die. Demonic evil radiance. Xiao Yan's eyes grew cold as he stopped wasting words with the human godchild. His hands quickly formed countless evil, sinister hand seals, then pressed down on the space near the human godchild. The dark green demonic power slowly surged, resembling brilliant stars flashing in the night sky. As the power descended, the space shattered instantly. Given Xiao Yan's current level of strength combined with the demonic power, even a peak 9th reincarnation stage powerhouse would find it extremely difficult to handle. This bastard! Sensing the approach of these bizarre, evil demonic stars, the human godchild's eyes narrowed slightly. He slowly brought his hands together, and a black and white torrent of energy swirled around, containing a terrifying force of destruction. The demonic power was far too mysterious, and probably only angelic power could contend with it. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The demonic stars arrived in an instant, but when they came into contact with the human godchild's surrounding space, they were blocked by the strange black and white torrent. Waves of visible shockwaves erupted, and the core of the battle saw the space continually collapsing. Extinction Lotus Platform. Xiao Yan frowned, then suddenly retreated. But as he quickly moved backward, he hurled a fiery lotus platform shimmering with nearly 9 brilliant colors at the human godchild. The dazzling lotus platform emitted an endless aura of heavenly and earthly flame power, as if even a strong reincarnation stage cultivator would easily melt away. The void began to warp, and waves of destruction power, violent to the extreme, caused everyone in this world to flinch slightly. Bang! 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 In an instant, the flame lotus platform shot out in all directions. Lotus petals fell off, immediately triggering the destruction lotus heart hidden at the center of the platform, launching an attack toward the human godchild. Just as these forces were about to strike the human godchild, a massive black and white figure suddenly burst forth from the distant void. It was filled with an incomprehensible and terrifying power. In a flash, the figure appeared before Xiao Yan. The palm, infused with demigod power, quickly clenched into a fist, radiating dazzling black and white energy, and slammed heavily toward Xiao Yan's crown. Bang! 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 A series of sharp collision sounds echoed, and Xiao Yan's body was once again shaken violently, sending him flying back several hundred meters. He then stared grimly at the unmoving human godchild in the distance. High in the sky, the human godchild was now enveloped in a giant form made of demigod power. Black and white torrents howled around him, forming an impenetrable armor-like shield. The human godchild was filled with astonishment in his eyes. His sudden attack had yielded no substantial effect. His arm buzzed, as though the attack had struck an especially sturdy piece of iron. But little did he know, Xiao Yan's body had been tempered with the blood essence of the Golden Dragon King and even the bones of the Dragon God, making Xiao Yan's physical strength nearly godlike. Ordinary attacks were unlikely to cause any real harm. Is this a technique similar to the Dou Di form? Xiao Yan raised his head, gazing at the human godchild whose eyes were filled with murderous intent. His expression gradually became more serious. Although their strengths were not on the same level, neither side could gain the upper hand in battle. You may be extraordinary, but today, you will undoubtedly die. Blood sacrifice, demigod's body. The human godchild let out a chilling laugh, and a drop of exceptionally pure blood flashed from his chest. With a wave, it was perfectly infused into the demigod body that enveloped him. In an instant, his originally energy-based body transformed into a monstrous beast, filled with an overwhelming killing intent. Every part of his body radiated a suffocating lethal power. It was as if the towering giant before Xiao was an entirely different human godchild. Two human godchildren? You've underestimated me. Can you withstand the wrath of the Xiao clan? Faced with the human godchild's desperate actions, Xiao merely smiled faintly. His handsome face immediately grew serious, and a chilling murderous aura combined with surging power surged forth. Suddenly, countless fiery lights burst forth behind Xiao, as if cheering in joy, welcoming the arrival of a transcendent divine object. Moments later, these flames slowly formed a complex flame pattern net, from which an ancient object began to emerge. 7 realm artifacts, Flame God's Cauldron? You think this can stand against me? Watching Xiao final move, the smile on the human godchild's face twisted into an even more sinister grin. While the power of the Flame God's Cauldron was impressive, it lacked divine essence. It was at most useful against reincarnation stage cultivators. Using it to face a demigod was akin to using an egg to strike a stone. The time for this long-slumbering power to show itself has come. It's time to demonstrate your true strength to these ignorant, self-righteous fools. Despite the human godchild's mockery, Xiao remained eerily calm. But it was this unnatural calmness that caused the human godchild to tremble in his mind. Humph, trying to fool me. Facing the composed smile on Xiao face, the human godchild's nerves sharpened. Without any hesitation, he commanded the colossal giant to strike forward, bringing its earth-shattering momentum toward Xiao. Though he knew the Flame God's Cauldron was broken and couldn't hurt him, he could always sense an unsettling aura from Xiao. Flame Mantra, Flame God's Cauldron, refine the heavens and earth. The Flame Mantra technique coursed through Xiao limbs, transforming into countless flames that surged into the Flame God's Cauldron at an astonishing speed, building and channeling the vast divine power within. The once ancient and simple Flame God's Cauldron instantly expanded, glowing bright red. From its bottomless mouth, an infinite torrent of fire surged, and the waves of power exchanged between the flames emitted a terrifying, oppressive force. Clearly, as Xiao strength grew, his control over the sacred flame and the Flame God's Cauldron became even more refined. Suddenly, huge fire-light pillars, each 1,000 feet high, erupted from the mouth of the Flame God's Cauldron. Each pillar carried traces of the sacred flame runes, and as soon as they appeared, they broke through the constraints of time and space, heading straight for the human godchild, who was charging towards them. The impact of these terrifying fire-light pillars was incredibly fierce. As they surged, the human godchild's face twisted in intense shock. But he was no ordinary being. Without a trace of hesitation, 2 figures, one in front and one behind, remained unyielding, their manifested black and white torrents howling behind them. Together, they formed an overwhelming force capable of shaking the very heavens. They then raised their ancient palms, as if they were the rulers judging all living beings, and struck at the fire-light pillars with a mighty blow. The collision sent shockwaves that tore apart the surrounding space within 100 meters, forcing both figures to be pushed back by the immense force. I still don't believe I can't deal with you. Blood River Torrent, Annihilation Halberd. The human godchild slightly tilted his head, gazing at the 2 quasi-deities engaged in battle above the clouds. Their positions flickered and fluctuated erratically, while the vast black and white power around him transformed into a blood-red river reaching the heavens. The terrifying force tore through the fabric of space and rushed towards Xiao position. Facing Xiao, a prodigy of the Xiao clan who rivaled Xiao Tianming, the human godchild wouldn't give him any chance to escape. What is this? Just as Xiao Yin was about to fully unleash the flame god's cauldron's power to counter the human godchild, the Xiao clan bloodline hidden deep within his body stirred restlessly. That peculiar sensation felt as if a great figure of the Xiao clan was trying to convey something. His doubts grew stronger, and suddenly, Xiao Yin looked up sharply at the battle between the two quasi-deities, the unease in his heart growing more intense. Fall back. As soon as the thought formed in his mind, a wave of extreme anxiety surged from the depths of his consciousness. He immediately drew the flame god's cauldron back into his grasp and sent it hurtling towards the ground, landing on the sacred judgment altar. The feeling from the Xiao clan bloodline seemed to be a warning of impending danger. At the same time, across the chaotic battlefield, several powerful figures also sensed this mysterious disturbance, following Xiao Yan's example and retreating. Seeing Xiao Yan, Xiao Tianming, and even the Holy King and Golden Dragon King, who were fighting against the quasi-deity of the extraterritorial evil clan, pull back from the battlefield, the remaining human experts also began to withdraw, quickly gathering around the sacred judgment altar. What are you all doing? In the center of the human realm, besides the human godchild, the other two peak ninth reincarnation stage experts also led their followers, angrily berating the Endless Flame Alliance's sudden retreat. Roar! 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 Before they could fully process their confusion, deafening sounds rumbled from the distant clouds. A deep, hoarse voice, like that of a true divine palace, roared from the heavens. Annihilation Mystic Bow, Divine Arrow. The mighty, ancient voice echoed intermittently, but without exception, it reached the ears of every soul present on the battlefield. Upon hearing the indistinct voice, even the ninth reincarnation stage experts felt their hairs stand on end, as if they had sensed an inherent and overwhelming danger. Faced with the looming threat of death, several powerful figures from the Endless Flame Alliance acted simultaneously, desperately summoning thousands of layers of defensive barriers to protect everyone's lives. This is bad. Sensing the sudden pressure from the heavens and earth, the experts from both the extraterritorial evil clan and the center of the human realm shouted in alarm. They hurriedly fled toward the distant evil rift, conjuring dark, twisted barriers in their wake. Boom! The clouds in the sky flickered erratically, and once again, a blinding light flashed as if the fall of the Angel of Slaughter had reappeared. This strike pierced through the stars and annihilated all life in its path. The projection of the chief seat's origin was destroyed. The guardians of the extraterritorial evil clan and the two realms narrowed their eyes, their expressions filled with indescribable shock. How could it be that Xiao Yuntian, who once couldn't even contend with the leader of the extraterritorial realm, had turned the situation into this? Cough. Your strength indeed is several times stronger than last time. From within the clouds, the leader of the extraterritorial evil clan's voice echoed faintly, but few noticed that on Xiao Yuntian's frail body hung a pure white ice sword, its blade radiating a cold, deathly aura, mercilessly draining the life from him. Clearly, this battle between the two quasi-deities would end in mutual destruction. What a pity. The leader's voice gradually faded, and suddenly, the entire world was filled with a bone-chilling coldness, sending shivers down everyone's spines. Kill! Kill Xiao Yuntian! Countless figures rushed forward, channeling their primal powers to charge at Xiao Yuntian. Though Xiao Yuntian was a master of the profound, he had been severely wounded by the leader of the extraterritorial evil clan. Now, he was little more than a dying man. If they could eradicate him, it would be a great victory for the extraterritorial evil clan. Damn it! Xiao Yuntian's aged face darkened with an exceptionally heavy expression, and he immediately turned to face the three demigod-ranked powerhouses rushing towards him. With a swift motion, he stepped back into the eerie stone coffin, and without hesitation, tore open a time rift to return to the netherworld realm. Yet, no one noticed that behind Xiao Yuntian's grave expression was a sly smile, as though everything had been intentionally orchestrated by him. Whoosh! Even though Xiao Yuntian had escaped in an instant, countless humans couldn't help but breathe a heavy sigh of relief. The attack he had just unleashed was undoubtedly within the realm of divine arts, with layers of defensive barriers in the thousands, nearly destroying over 80% of them. What kind of immense destructive power was required for such a feat? Glurp. What is that? The divine soul source of the slaughter angel and the angelic holy soul? Though Xiao Yuntian was wounded, no one could stop his escape. However, in the next moment, countless people gathered, their eyes fixed on the clouds where the two quasi-deities had just fought.